Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth through the Holy Spirit. Peace and blessings and salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect. All right, I'm the brother Zion, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to feed the sheep and the lambs of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And this is an article, all right, that I saw in the group chat. And I just wanted to read it to you brothers because, of course, us brothers in the know, all right, we do know and believe that the mark of the beast written in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, is talking about the Microchip, all right? And you have thousands of Israelites who believe something different. And you also have a lot of Israelite leaders who teach their congregations that this is not the MOTB, okay? And they will have to answer for that, okay? But, excuse me, Salakia. But as we go into, all right, the future of society, okay, we go into, you know, this digital prison that they want to put people in, all right? We understand, and the Most High is clearly showing us, you know, what this thing is, or what is, you know, what it's gonna come out to be, so to speak, okay? So you brothers can simply just put this in the Google search and it'll pop up, all right, on many different articles. Also, you can put it in probably on ChatGPT. So it says microchips could be put under prisoners' skin to track them, tech bosses tell prison minister. Microchips could be inserted under the skin of offenders to track their movements, tech bosses have suggested. The proposal was put forward by tech bosses as a way of monitoring prisoners in real time and around the clock. The idea was suggested as a part of a roundtable event with the prison's Minister Lord Thompson and representatives from tech firms. Other ideas put forward including driverless prison vans and robot-run jails. So you can see that this man Esau Edom is going into that digital route, okay? But without the mark, you know, they can't really do any of this. So maybe they're gonna come out with testing it on prisoners, you know, chipping inmates, okay? Because it ain't really nothing they can do. They already locked up. Right? They can maybe rebel against it, but they might say, we'll give you more time if you don't take this. Okay? So they may face less pushback than they would do within the general public. But they can lock the general public down too. They can just say, well, we ain't going to feed you unless you take this. But the point is, you can see that this is going into, like one of my favorite sayings, all roads lead to the chip. Okay? It says the meeting took place last year with representatives from more than 30 companies, including Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. But details have only started to emerge now. 3 of the biggest companies in the world. Firms also suggest that AI could be used to predict the risk posed by certain individuals. Lord Thompson told the meeting that once-in-a-generation reform was the only way we can truly deal with the scale of the crisis, cut crime, and speed up justice. He added, I want technology to play an integral role in tracking these problems and making our streets safer. He told the tech bosses that the meeting was just the start of the new conversation between us and you. And what do you see a picture of? You see a picture of the MOTB, the mark of the beast. Okay? Which, of course, GMS is at the forefront of pushing this, you know, this thing out there, you know? But you're going to get the true information from the true men of the Lord. And I'm not saying that just from bragging and boasting, but that's just what it is. We've told you. We've gone into the Greek. We've gone into Chi Psi Stigma. We've gone into Charagma to show you that this thing is a physical mark that this man is going to come down and place upon the people because he wants to move on with his NWO. So now there's rumors of them starting it with what? Prisoners. It says the minutes of the secretive meeting were released to the Foxglove, a group that campaigns against the abuse of tech by governments and companies following a Freedom of Information request. The group told prison newspaper Inside Time that the ideas sounded alarmingly dystopian. And that's the word they use for it. Oh, we're going into a dystopian society. And yeah, don't you see how big AI is becoming in the world? You know? Don't you see how big AI is becoming? Actually, let's see if we could type this in the chat. Let's go to the chat. See what comes up. This was a proposal, not an implemented policy. We know that, right? The headline refers to a proposal discussing in the UK where technology companies suggested implanting tracking chips under the skin of some offenders to monitor their location, health, and behavior in real time. The idea was raised during meetings in the UK justice officials as a part of broader discussions about future prison technology. So what is this telling you? That they're moving in that type of direction. Other ideas discussed reportedly included AI assessed monitoring, robotic prison management, and driverless prison transport. And then they give you some sources down here: Ground News, The Guardian, Tech X Explorer. All right. And the latest one was June 1st, 2026. I don't know if it's going to let me go to it or not. Now it's going to make me subscribe. What about The Guardian? Oh, that one was last year. But this one was new. All right. The one that we had here. All right. So it's just, hey, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And you see the picture right here. So, we go over this information so much, just to the point where, like, we know the precepts on it. We know, we've been telling you, right? While ministers pondered the future of prisons in 2 decades, new figures of the Ministry of Justice showed 60,108 offenders were let out of. So they basically gonna make it seem like they need this technology to monitor the prisoners because they breaking out of prison and all of that. Meanwhile, it's just a tactic from Esau Edom to chip your ass. All right. So this wasn't much information, but it's new. It's revisited information. They talking about it again. And normally when they talk about this AI stuff, it's getting ready to be proposed. Trump just flew out to China a couple weeks, what was it, last month? All right, to meet with them about AI. So it's being talked behind closed doors. All right, don't think that because you ain't hearing about it, it ain't being talked about or proposed. Revelation 12:12, he's going to come down upon you having great wrath because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Shalom.